تالیسمان برای همه تلیسمایی که نوشته شدن و نوشته نشدن به زبان فارسی. Murder someone as a sacred obligation or a criminal act for the lack of main verbs in the original text of this talisman, as thinking material for further wrongdoings. For the two auxiliary gerunds in the last line, murder someone, why should one not follow some advice? Murder someone. Pick a number, stick to it. Breathe 3 times for a sharper relief. Your magical practices are pliable acts. This is about the problematic nature of birth and death. Magic appears within numbers and obscure supernatural shapes. Think about abstraction. When I was a child, everybody was a child, and I was a year younger than anybody else. Mommy drove me to school in the morning to study the sciences of chemia and limia and simia and hemia, not to mention rimia, on the most acid-resistant paper you could find those days, absolutely. A broad substratum of knowledge in its inexactitude. Go to school again. Put 700 lira in a bucket. Exit the second door on your right. Take the magic books as technical documents. Take the X-ray, for instance, as a moonbeam. Paint yourself from head to toe with bright colors till your brother mistakes you for a younger man. Call your brother and tell him you have a vague dream about him. Then ask him too many questions about the past. He will think you've gone mad. Then tell him he's wrong and tell him you're about to murder someone. I indeed would have done that if I were you. When I was a child, I failed the math class, me and 7 other kids. Our parents were called to explain our failures. I took my older brother with me as my dad. One kid brought acolytes. But those days, math was not important, and they let us off the hook. I went to balcony and took my shirt off to absorb the sun directly. And I have to say, I really got tan that day. When we went to recall real matters, we should be tangible, visible, real. I hate when people think magic comes from primitive mentality. Draw a large circle on the mud with some footwear made of leather. Wrap that footwear in the green leaves of a nearby tree, given that it be springtime. Keep that for 2 seasons under your lover's bed, given that you have one. Brush them carefully in the autumn time. Put them on. Then murder someone. I don't care who. I don't specify people, but cattle are not someone. Kill a man with a name and a profession, or even someone unemployed. Let it be noticeable. Wait 30 minutes. Don't let them call it anything else. It is murder. What is your astrological chart like? When we were kids, physiologists envied our youth. On bumpy roads, our knees banged against each other in school buses. An abrupt bony ball of pain circled in our knees. I had forgotten that up till yesterday around 3:23 p.m. There are exhausting meetings I go to, reviewing genuine concerns, but I'm fine with yelling and leaving the office, and you can murder someone. When we were kids, not long ago, in Newry, trucks came downhill with the engines off. A sour old cow stood in the back of the truck, pretending to enjoy the ride. In Tehran, I studied the alchemy of happiness. We were very sick and dizzy because of the odor of the new paint on the doors. It is toxic, you know. I was left-handed back then and straight. My sister was 64 and I was younger. We had bright kids in our school, and I no doubt I was one of them. We were chic and modern. I oiled up the lanterns nevertheless. And at the reception desk of the Hotel Intercontinental, which is now called Lale, there was an old script. On top of it printed the name of my future husband, KLHST. And let me tell you right from the letters of his name, it comes from ancient Greek wisdom in talismanic figures. The script was a text of natural magic in its entirety, implementation of forces that exist or should. Idiots read it as illusionary. When you were a kid, these texts were concealed from kids. When I was a kid, we studied them. Why don't you murder someone to start with? Then we can put our glasses together. Then we can read magical texts and gain power. We can effect episodes of silence between humans and plants concealed carefully within the science of seismology, or magical meteorology, like you can make the sun disappear in the daytime. We can affect plants and seeds, especially apples. We can make my right leg ascend to the sky in front of our eyes, and I can stand up and walk normally too. You want your childhood back? You know what to do.